Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mando Murphy. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be looking at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on the PlayStation 5 1 year later. So, first of all, let's just go through the pros and cons of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I think most of the pros come from the lore, the DC universe, and the city of Metropolis. I think Rocksteady do a fantastic job at building this world and putting in lots of references, Easter eggs, lore, stuff that a lot of people would really be invested in, especially big DC comic fans. I think they've done terrifically when it came to the voice acting. I think the voice acting was superb. Tara Strong, Kevin Conroy, Samoa Joe. I think a lot of really good voice acting performances, especially from Kevin Conroy. I want to give a special mention to him as it's his final game. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, so that was really sad, and it's such a shame that we're not going to have him in another Batman role. But I think he does a tremendous job here, and Tara Strong again playing as Harley Quinn, doing a stellar job as well. I think the character models are great. I think the gameplay is quite good, as much as it can get a little bit repetitive, so that might be a slight con. But I think the gameplay is pretty solid. I think it's bombastic, it's chaotic, it's explosive, it's fast paced. It's everything you want from a Suicide Squad game, because you don't want it to be like Batman, where it's stealthy and cool and flashy and smooth. The gameplay is a real big mix up from what we have experienced in the Batman Arkham games, and I think that's to be expected. This is not a Batman Arkham game. This is explosive. It's fast paced. There's going to be recklessness. There's going to be lots of explosions and guns and bullets and killing. So this is completely different from what we're used to, and I think that's maybe what would be a little bit jarring to some people that invested so heavily in the Batman Arkham series. But I did really enjoy it. I think it got on the repetitive side, but I think most of the missions are quite enjoyable to do. And the traversal around the city of Metropolis, I think, is tremendous. I love traversing, whether it be with King Shark, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, or Deadshot. I think all four are fun to use. But then, they have all their same strengths. They're very similar in terms of their traversal, with subtle differences here and there. But I think the traversal and the gameplay was very good and something I really enjoyed. So I think that was a big pro. Another pro, I think most of the game story is great. I think it's really good. I think it's well written. A lot of people argued that it was in bad taste or distasteful. And yes, some of the jokes and some of the things and the tone to it is a little bit distasteful. But I don't think you're meant to like these guys. They're villains at the end of the day, and they're bad guys at the end of the day. They're not even anti-heroes. So I think I could kind of give them a pass on having some distasteful jokes or bad timing or stuff that you don't really like to hear or see. So I think that's, to be expected, if I'm being honest. But I do really like the chemistry that all four characters have with each other. I think they bounce off each other. I think there's lots of humour in there. I think King Shark is hilarious. And I really enjoyed it. But I must say, I think that's why a lot of people will find it distasteful and didn't really like it, is because they're villains and they're going to make bad jokes. They're going to say really nasty shit. So I think, we could give them a little bit of a pass on that, because they are bad guys at the end of the day. And I think the end game cutscenes are very good. I think they're really strong. I think they're really well directed and written and done. It's just unfortunate with the latest update, with the final update, as Deathstroke is the new playable character to join the Suicide Squad. I think most of his cutscenes are just pictures. They're not actual cutscenes, or they're not actual animated cutscenes. They're more like comic book strip pictures, with a little bit of voice acting, and I think that's a little bit of a letdown. But I can kind of see why, because Rocksteady probably took a big budget cut at the end of it just to finish the game off and just put it out there and be done and dusted with it. Probably Warner Brothers Studios just tell them, like, get it over and done with. I did really enjoy my time with it. I spent over like 60 hours in it, so I gave it a good hell of a chance. I didn't want to just play it for 5 or 10 hours and just go, yeah, this game's trash. I wanted to give it as much as I can, as much of a fair shot as I can. And I think, at 60 hours or 70 hours, I think that's pretty reasonable. And I did. I really enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was actually quite a good game. I was very, very surprised, I must say. So yeah, those are the pros. The lore, DC, and Rocksteady collaborating again. Characters, gameplay, story. I think they're all quite solid. But then the cons, I would probably say, is the live service model. That's probably the biggest con to most people. The live service model is terrible. The skins are terrible. They're not really eye-catching or quite cool. I think the in-game skins that you can get for free, you don't have to buy, I think they're quite good. And you can kind of see where there has probably been a butt of heads between corporate and real writers that care about the content, real Rocksteady writers that want to give all they can to the DC universe. I think that's where you can tell they butt heads, because the Battle Pass ones are, they're pretty awful, I must say, and I don't think they represent the characters very well, whereas the ones that you don't need to buy on the Battle Pass, I think they're some of the better ones. So yeah, for sure, I think it is a bit questionable on why that went wrong, how it got so wrong, and how it could have been much better if they had just scrapped that live service model and just stuck to the in-game outfits and in-game skins for the guns and stuff like that. I think a lot of people would have been a hell of a lot more happier. No one wants to spend £70 on a game and then have to spend another £10 a month or so on a battle pass. So I can understand why so many people were disgruntled at that. I think I would be too. So this is on free on PlayStation Plus if you're in a PlayStation Plus Essentials member. So this is actually free. So this is why I played it, really. I have full faith in Rocksteady. I think they can recover. I definitely think they can make another fantastic game, another fantastic DC game with it. But if I was to give it a score and sum it up, I would probably say a 6 out of 10 for me. I think the gameplay is solid. I think the characters are solid. I think the story is solid. Maybe up until the final 2 chapters. The end game is probably my only con about the story. But the lore and DC and Rocksteady collaborating as usual, the voice acting, character models, I think all those tick all the right boxes. The City of Metropolis, for example, is probably one of the best in-city games I've ever played. I think it's so beautiful. The lighting and everything's just great. Everything works really, really well. And it's all buttery smooth as well. They're very, very little bugs or glitches. So I think that they've done a tremendous job on that. So that's why I would give it a 6 out of 10. I think there's a lot of really good points about it. It's not the game that people wanted. And it's not the game that I wanted either. But I think it's an okay game. And I think that's fair enough to say. So hopefully you've enjoyed my review. If you have, then hit the like button and subscribe for more future content that I'll be putting out. I certainly will be covering any more that comes from the Batman Arkham series or any more that comes from Rocksteady, and I hope you will enjoy it. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day whatever you're doing, and I hope you can take care. See you soon.
Yeah, go Superman! Oh fuck, it's Superman!
プレイステーション